about these two masajid. But later on, in his time, tens of other masajid in Medina established. And masajid were operated and organized by the different groups, Muhajir, Ansar, Uwais, Khazraj, all of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded that, إِنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. That's the principle. Today, you can have a masjid, whether, for example, the language base, or regional base, or even school of thought, Shia, Sunni. But if we reach the point that, yes, for example, MCA Masjid is run and governed by a group of people, those who are predominantly Sunni brothers, it's very good. But at the end of the day, إِنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. We don't want to box people that this is a masjid which belongs to one sect. No, masjid is belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are the host, not guest. Yes, there is a system how to govern and run, that's a different thing. Same thing, Sabah or any Shia Sunni masjid. That is one of the practical aspects. Alhamdulillah, I know that there is a will and we can reach the point. And right now, based on all what is happening, if we want to reach to a better conclusion, there is only one way, that is the unity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and bless us and give strength and tawfiq to perform our duties and responsibilities in this part of the time and in this crucial time. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum. Welcome. Jazakumullah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وعليكم السلام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. First, let me thank Sabah Center for again hosting NCIC here this year for the second annual Unity Conference. Their leadership and their facilitation for us is really critical. And I talked also to Brother Fuad from MCA, and they're definitely interested in hosting something similar. Possibly we'll take a commitment once we talk to the board for next year to actually also do a similar type program. The key element in terms of the work toward unity, I don't need to give you the picture from outside. It does not look good across the world. I just returned from Malaysia on the discussions about how to deal with Islamophobia in general, and the challenge is not only for the wars in the Arab world, but we're possibly seeing a genocide in the making in relations to India. You already have a genocide in the Rohingya in Myanmar. You already have concentration camps for the Uyghur in China. And similar other circumstances have befallen. There's about 65 million refugees around the world. Between 40 to 45 million of them are Muslims. Now, we could begin to address some of the issues if we are unified and united, because if we're not united in here, we can't actually project and make an impact on the national policy or the impact on the global policy. Einstein said, do you want to know the definition of insanity? Is to try the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So I'm not interested in trying the same thing over and over to try to expect a different result. We have to strategize for making transformation. And I think in this area there's about 92 mosques and centers reflecting the broader diversity of the Muslim community with 350,000. We're approximately 3.5% to 4% of the regional population. Yes, I would say that our political, social impact, I don't want to say close to zero, but it actually is that way. Because we have not yet figured out how to transform our numbers, numerical numbers and resources into effective type of strategy that impacts us. The last thing is that when somebody hits a Muslim, they don't ask him whether you're Shi'i, Sunni, or which madhab you are, whether you do sadr or qabl, whether you do the basmala beginning or a'udhu billah before you recite. right? We tend to are so close to it that we begin to try to debate the minutest things, while the person who's hitting you, it does not care what is it that you are doing. And just recently, the data that came out from Australia, 82% of all the attacks, Islamophobic attacks, target Muslim women. The same type in Europe, the same here in the US. So as we are often debating and negotiating the sadr al-qabr, the basmala or not basmala, whether it's halal or haram on the minutest things, we're having a field day of Islamophobia that is taking place that's targeting Muslims systematically. So I'm committed, and the NCIC leadership is committed to transform our community in here, and inshallah it could be a model for how things could be done in the future. Not a blood, but just Manzoor Ghori. This is the Islamophobia in India report, Stalking Bigotry, and I think it's a sobering read to understand what is taking place. We have actual lynchings taking place in the streets of India on a daily basis. So that's what we're facing at a global level. So Jazakumullah khair, welcome, and hopefully this day will be a day of discussions and how for us to actually maybe come up with ideas and projects that will facilitate building a unified community. So وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا, it's an ayah, but it has to be made into actual living programs so people can actually work and collaborate to develop a different community. So Jazakumullah khair, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Maulana Abdi and Dr. Hatem Bazian. So once again, let me just quickly go over the program. You probably picked up the program when you were entering. It's divided into 4 different segments, each about an hour long. So the first hour is some short speeches by 4 presenters who are listed. The second hour will be the panel discussion where the audience will have an opportunity to talk and ask the panelists questions. You'll be handed index cards, and I'll be moderating that as well. Then we'll break for the Zuhr prayer and lunch. And yes, we'll have one prayer, one congregation prayer, not 2, we're united. That will be led by Maulana Adidi. And the 4th segment will be the breakout section. So most of you will come back here. There will be a live conversation among yourself, and I'll go over that step when we get there. While the audience is breaking out here after lunch, our speakers and panelists and board members will be meeting in the conference room talking about some of the same questions, and those questions will be much more X's and O's, what are some of the next steps, etc., etc. So we have a very tight program. The speeches are at the most 8 minutes long, so I'll very humbly ask my speakers to mind and monitor their time. I know it's 8 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be. So I would also like to introduce our committee members. Many of them are not here because of the illness or some family issues. Can you please rise up, all the committee members? Don't be shy. On the ladies' side also, Sister Mamuna as well. Okay. Right. So please acknowledge them for all the hard work they have done to make sure this program happens. I will not go over the goals and objectives again. They are listed here. This is part of our Intra-Faith Committee. And this is our pledge, and I'm hoping that we will all pledge to the same principles here. And this is something else also we agree of what the Intra-Faith Dialogue is now about. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to stop here because we are already about 4 to 5 minutes late. I'm very, very type-A, as you probably can tell, even though I was not born in an army family. I'm going to invite now our next speaker, Dr. Nazir Ahmed. I know him so well that I know he has practiced this speech to make sure that he finishes in 8 minutes. Yeah, I know he did.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. 1439 years ago, according to the Hijra calendar, in the battlefield of Badr, there stood a band of men, 307 of them all, animated by faith, welded together as if they were a block of steel by the vision of Tawheed, led by none other than Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Among them were Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu and Hazrat Hamza radiallahu anhu. And yes, there were also Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu. It was an extraordinary moment in history. Never had the earth witnessed such a band of men animated by Dinul Haq. There was no Shia and no Sunni on the battlefield. They were arrayed against the forces of disbelief, many times larger. But they triumphed. And the triumph was celebrated in the heavens with the revelation in the Quran, and I quote, "It was a sign for you when two opposing forces met, one force fighting in the way of Allah, the other of the disbelievers who saw the believers as if they were double. Lo, Allah grants His help to whom He will. Indeed, in this is a lesson for people with inner vision." 14 centuries later, the Muslims are numerous. There are some 1.7 billion Muslims in the world today, and are living through equally extraordinary times. From Myanmar to Tripoli is the same story. One tragic story after another. If you are a Rohingya, you are killed for no other reason but that you are a Rohingya. In India, you're lynched on a rumor that you ate beef. Kashmir is continuously bleeding. Afghanistan is in ruins. Iran and Libya have been destroyed by invasion. Syria is obliterated. What is the difference between the 300 faithful who were arrayed on the battlefield of Badr and the 1.7 billion Muslims today? Theirs was a faith that was a projection of the heavens upon earth. Ours is a religion that is a projection of history upon the heavens. Trained by the Master himself, they are attuned to the vibrations from heaven to fulfill the mandate for the creation of man upon earth. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. We live in an age when religion is used as a tool for power and politics. Ali Shariati called it the Holy Trinity of religion, politics, and power. Yes, these are extraordinary times. There were times when the world of Islam faced external aggression and confronted the prospect of extinction, as happened during the Mongol invasions of the 13th century. But rarely has it faced the simultaneous challenge of implosion from within and aggression from without. The tensions within the Islamic body politic are too numerous to enunciate in a short discourse. The Shia-Sunni split that runs like a major fault in Islamic history is well known. and is exploited to the hilt by the enemies of Islam. The obliteration of traditional Islam by Wahhabi ideology, sectarianism of many shades, Jamaats of many colors, each claiming to speak for true Islam, the rise of extremism with the Taliban and the Daesh are all too well known. Add to it the ideological onslaught from a coalition of chauvinistic Hindutva, expansionist Zionism, and reactionary Christian fundamentalism, and you have the total picture before you. Not even the Quran and the person of the Prophet ﷺ are spared. Yes, indeed, the world of Islam is passing through an historical bend, far greater in import than the devastating Mongol invasions of the 13th century. What are the Muslims to do? Civilizations are held together by faith. Great civilizations endure because they have the inherent ability to renew themselves from within. They fall apart when they lose the cohesion of faith and move away from the path of justice. America is a melting pot. It offers a unique opportunity to dust off the accretions of the past and renew our faith based on the Quran and the Seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. These are extraordinary times. They require the wisdom of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, the knowledge of Imam Jafar as-Sadiq radiallahu anhu, and the sagacity of Umar bin Abdul Aziz radiallahu anhu. Allah does not change the condition of the people until they change what is within themselves. A community that is wrapped up in the past is like a driver whose vision is riveted on the rear view mirror and he crashes headlong into the oncoming truck. To renew itself, the world of Islam must change from within. Let this gathering be the beginning of a paradigm shift. In a complex world where identities overlap and every person, man or woman, has multiple identities, let us define ourselves not as Shia or Sunni, but simply as Muslims, within a paradigm of a unified Muslim identity, as opposed to separate Shia or Sunni identities. Cultural, familial, religious, and public affairs cooperation becomes possible. Let us knock down all barriers between the Shia and the Sunni and build an Islamic community based on faith, reason, science, and culture. Let history not be a tyrant, but a teacher. Yes, there have been historical wrongs. After 1400 years, is it not time to forgive and move on? As Bulleh Shah of Lahore said, find someone to forgive. Find someone to forgive so that Allah may forgive you. Find someone to forgive so that Allah may forgive you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Thank you, Dr. Nasir. The next speaker is Dr. Nur Biswai. Please come to the podium. As you can see, I'm not introducing the speakers. Their bios are up on the screen, and that will also save us time.
So the other day I was talking to our elementary students at Rise Academy after Salah about respecting other people that have different faith. And then the conversation led to me saying, well, we have a lot in common with Christians. We believe in the same God, and we believe in Jesus. And then one of the students raised her hand and said, but they say Jesus is God. the first thing that came to the mind of the student was the difference, not the similarity. And that's an epidemic issue that we see in the Muslim Ummah. Someone walks in here at Zuhr time, people are praying here today beautifully together, united. They don't say, mashallah, all of them are praying. They say, oh, some of them are praying like this, some of them are praying like this. The difference, not the similarity. We have differences because the world around us has been changing. Our belief systems have been changing. Our words, the words of people, have been changing. But in the midst of all this changing, there are some things that never change. What never changes? The nature of God doesn't change. Does it? God hasn't changed. Allah is unchanging. Allah is unchanging in His rahmat, in His maghfirat, in His mercy. And let that be the starting point of our commonality. He's also unchanging in His judgment. We believe there is going to be a judgment day. And you and I are going to stand. And on that day, I'm not going to ask for Allah's justice. I'm going to ask for Allah's mercy. I need mercy. You need mercy. We need mercy. We need the grace of Allah. We need the forgiveness of Allah. And that we have in common. God is unchanging. He's unchanging in His love. God loves you. And that's the most wonderful thing to go to bed at. Thinking that Allah loves me. Allah forgives me. Allah is interested in me. And that we also have in common. Kalimatu la ilaha illallah, right? Secondly, the Word of God doesn't change. This Quran that we have doesn't change. It's a living world. And what does Quran say about love? What is the word of Allah about habba, right? Habba yuhibbu. What is love? Love is if you look at something and it pulls your heart, right? It interests you. To have unity, don't you think our hearts have to be pulled towards the same thing, in the same direction, the direction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We need to have the same hubb. And what do we love? To answer that question, we can look at what Allah loves. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم الرحمن ودا. Some people that Allah loves, that we all love. The first one that comes to our mind is that verse that says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. The love of Rasulullah, the ata'at of Rasulullah, and that we have in common. That we have in common. They say one day, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was talking to Allah. And Allah said, هَلَ عَمِلْتَ لِي عَمَلًا غَبْتَ. Have you done something only for me? And Nabi Musa alayhi salam said, well, I have prayed, I have fasted, I have given sadaqah, I remembered you. And Allah said, all of that you didn't do for me, you know. Salaytu because you were my abd. Sumtu because that was a shield for the hellfire, one by one. And then he said, what have you done for me? And Musa asked, can you help me with the answer? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هَلْ وَالَيْتَ لِي وَلِيًّا وَهَلْ عَادَيْتَ لِي عَدُوٌ مُطَّلٍ. Have you loved someone that I love because of me? And have you had animosity towards someone who is my enemy because of me? Do we love the same people? Those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. Who are those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves? You look at someone who's doing a very good deed, right? They're helping other people in the community. They're helping the homeless. And we say, MashaAllah, that's beautiful. That pulls our heart. We love that person. And guess what? Allah loves that person. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsineen. That we have in common. We want to increase our unity. Let's increase our love and support for those who are doing good deeds in our communities, right? You look at someone in the time that there's so much injustice around the world in the Muslim Ummah, so much suffering, someone is trying hard to bring justice, to bring adalat. That pulls our hearts. We love that person. And guess what? Allah loves that person. Wallahu yuhibbul muqsiteen. And that we have in common. We want to increase our unity. Let's increase our love and support for those who are working hard to bring peace and justice in our communities. The time of so much filth, so much traps of shaitan around us. If you see someone who's pure, who's clean, that pulls your heart. You love them. And guess what? Allah loves them. Allah yuhibbul mutahharin. Allah loves those who are pure. And for this one, we don't have to go anywhere because the address is in the Quran, right? Who are those who are pure? إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. The pure ones are the Ahl Bayt of Rasulullah. We want to increase our unity. Let's increase our love for the Ahl Bayt of Rasulullah. That we have in common. And the list of commonality can go on and on and on. We want to work on unity. Let's work on our commonality, not the differences, brothers and sisters. And we pray for the day that the last member of the Ahl Bayt, the Mahdi, returns and leads the Ummah, brings unity to the Ummah, and brings peace and justice to the world. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wal-'asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just a quick reminder, we do have babysitting in the back, so please do use them. So this leads us to the live audience. So this is the first time we are doing it. This is the first time I have done it, and we'll get into that in a second. But before we do the audience survey, let me go back to my personal inspiration. So we have been talking about, so why should we unite? And then obviously the next question is, how do we unite and what does unity look like? But let me go over the why part a little bit. And I'll give you a personal story. I shared this last year as well. So when I was growing up in Pakistan, I was in the medical school. We had a group of 7 to 8 very, very closely knit friends. We did everything together. We slept together, we studied together, we did everything together. We watched the movies together, everything together. Remember, we were in our like 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. We even chased the girls together. So that was a long time ago. But here was something that was very sobering. So it comes time for Muharram, and all of a sudden I'm doing certain things and they're on their own. And we're kind of uptight and not even talking about it. Hey, where were you last night or yesterday? So all of a sudden we have like this built-in tension. And we are like brothers and really maybe even closer than brothers. That really always bothered me. So we did everything together, and the same thing during Ramadan. We never actually fasted together. So the thing that really united us became the source of disunity. That's a really crazy thought, but that's exactly what was happening. And then I know a lot of the speakers I already mentioned was going around in Kashmir and Uyghur and so on and so forth. They are being oppressed not because they're Shia Muslims, Sunnis, because they're Muslims. But people have then asked, like, so how does that relate to us? We are in the Bay Area, right? We are the most liberal and most progressive. All of that stuff is happening back there, not here. Well, since our last annual conference, by the way, we did actually make a lot of progress. We had many programs. We had an intra-faith Ramadan Iftar at Zahra Center. We had another one at ICC, NCC, very well attended. And we had a lot of center-to-center programs. We had one between ICZ and NCC in Pleasanton. We had another one between ICZ in Pleasanton and Sonoma Valley, and there were a few others. So we made progress, and we need to continue to make progress. But going back to, well, this is Bay Area, that stuff doesn't happen. I think if we think we don't have tension here in the Bay Area, we have our heads in the sand. Let me tell you, so after our last event, I had an email from a brother, said, can you look into this please? So what happened was this. So one of their brother, who was a Shia brother, was working, and he's from San Jose area, and he was in Oakland, so he Googled for a nearby mosque. He didn't Google for nearby Shia mosque, he just Googled the nearby mosque, so he goes into a Sunni mosque, and he started to pray. And of course he started to pray with the arms on the side. And afterwards, a few people approached him, and they asked him to leave. Not only they asked him to leave, but he was told that he made their masjid najis, impure. This is Oakland, California, Bay Area. He left. And then he was told that after his appearance there, they would have to clean up their mosque. Okay. Bay Area, 2019. Then very recently, I received an email after I sent out a lot of the invites. And he said, he started his email by saying, you're wasting your time and resources. This is not going to happen. It's been going on for 1400 years. So, to which my only response was, we are not going to undo the differences. We are not here to resolve the differences over the last 1400 years. We are here to see how we actually can understand each other better. And I actually reminded myself with the command to our Prophet ﷺ from no one else but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does the Quran say? When Prophet Muhammad was also very sad that his message, nobody is paying attention. This is the first several years of his nubuwwat. He was very, very sad and very distressed. And he was told, do not worry. Your job is to give the message. The results are not in our hand. We, in our social media age, we keep thinking about the likes, right? So you have something and like how many likes you had, how many likes I had. Like I had 155 likes and I had like 400 likes. Come to think of it, we only need one like. Okay? We only need one like. And here's the fact, and this is something I keep reminding myself, is if he likes us, then nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Conversely, if he doesn't like us, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So we are all doing this to please him. And there's another hadith, this is another talking about my inspiration. There's a hadith, I know you have heard this. And he said that anyone who brings the two brothers together, he will be or she will be with me like this. And he crossed his fingers. So that's our inspiration. If you have any doubts about like why we should do this, I don't know what else we can say to be convinced of it. I know I'm talking, this is preaching to the choir.